I taught over there how to write a very good patent disclosure. Why did they select me? I'm not an IP expert because they think that that time I submitted 7 patent disclosures. For 3 out of 3, 3 were granted, 1 is under process, and 3 were rejected, and 2 are still under process. So they think that I'm okay, I know this business, at least how to write a patent disclosure. Whether it go further or not, that is the job of university's economic and research development department or the IP cell of the university. So whoever submit disclosure in my previous university, I'm always an internal reviewer. So that's why I am okay with this subject. So in my talk today, I will be talking about how to write a patent disclosure. What is a patent disclosure? Because having a patent is always you're securing your idea, you're securing your approach, and you are securing something which has meaning. So no one can cheat you. And why this is important, as I mentioned, and how we can do that, because having a patent is a stepwise process. You are talking about intellectual right, but I don't know how things work in India, but here, when we joined a job in university, we signed around a lot of documents. Over there, this is written that whatever you will do during your job is the intellectual property of the institution. So if we have any nice idea with reference to research that has value, so we approach to a department in the university which is called IP cell and discuss our idea with them. If they like it, we have to write a disclosure. So IP cell of a particular institution review that patent disclosure and then decide whether we should go forward or not. So if they decide yes, then university hires an attorney, and that attorneys are certified IP writers. They draft a very good patent application, have all the claims with reference to your research this way or that way, and then after this document goes to US Patent Office. And then examiner over there review your application and then decide what next, either reject it, revision, or directly accept. So this is a different process, but how to go that way? So for that, we have to be focused. For that, we have to follow certain things while conducting research or while projecting findings, and how to articulate them, how to express the scope of your work, and how to claim that whatever you're doing is unique. And this is something comes by practice and by following certain thing from the beginning of your work. So first thing first, I would say, if you have any idea, believe that this is unique, and then think about this over and over. Is this really unique? Yes, then how? Think about how your idea is unique. Keep working on your idea. Maybe every time when you think about your own idea, you will change it this way or that way. There is always a scope to polish an idea and to make it better with reference to the demand and future. Okay, so if you have any idea, I would strongly recommend that think about what's the innovative part in your idea. If you are able to justify that your idea is innovative, then what will be the plan? What's your planning with reference to that idea? You're going to end up with some experiments and having a good publication and that's it? Or you think that this innovative idea has economical impact and you can have a patent for that? And if this is the way, this should be the way, because I believe your research can be patented and published at the same time if you follow the timeline. So you have to visualize all these kind of stuff, this innovation, planning, and then you have to visualize with respect to timeline what do you want to do. So after having all these components in mind, you have to you have to make a strategy. Strategy is the key. You have to have a very good strategy, and with reference to strategy, you have to work on each and every aspect. How to conduct the research, what kind of experiments, what are your expectations from these experiments, how are the possible outcomes, how are you gonna validate these outcomes, and is your approach or outcome solving the problem, existing problem, so that someone can feel attracted from your idea and invest on that. Because let me tell you very honestly, everything is money. There is nothing without money. If you don't have money, you can't do research. If you have money and you are not using it nice, you will not have further money. And whatever is all around the money. And if you're working hard in a particular directions, having an idea, all kind of visualization, you have a strategy, you have a working principles, then there could be only two way. Either you have a social cause that I want to change the world. I want everyone healthy. I don't want to see people poor. So let me do this. This will be revolutionary. Or you want to make money. Okay, I'm a businessman. I have a fantastic materials that can be used for antenna and coating materials for making gas sensors, biosensors, or I have an algorithm that can predict who need this particular diagnostics. A lot of computational stuff. So I think these two things can go together. If you think about money, you are resourceful, you have a technology, then you can change the world. If you have a vision to change the world with a technology, then right people will come and join you, as NEEV is doing, like Updesh is doing. He has a mission, and people are supporting him, and this is the way it's going right way. Even his objective needs money, right? He was helping children, need money too. So why not we faculties become so resourceful? We have little bit money oriented approach, and if we are making enough money, we can give this money to Updesh. He's the right guy to utilize this money for the welfare of student who are in village, wants to do. I'm a villager. I know the value of facilities. I understand this very well. So this is one side. We have to have an idea. We have to respect our idea. We have to polish our idea, and we have to see a vision. And with reference to vision, we have to make a strategy. And that strategy involves a lot of steps. Doing appropriate experiment in a nice way, in a proper way, proper justification, scientific explanation, validation, and everything. Okay. So if we are thinking about making money for good cause, or correlating our money, correlating our research for generating revenues, then we have to have a path, and that path is very hardworking. But let me tell you, it was very difficult to do research. It is very difficult to do research now. Why? Because Einstein, Tesla, Edison, kind of scientists have captured everything already. So there is no much scope left in fundamental research. So that time, research was a matter of hard working. Of course, ethics is a common factor. That was ethical research. Now we have to be ethical as well. So if you have a tendency to work hard, but you can do work hard only in your expertise. If you are a material scientist, you can make materials by working hard. But if you're thinking about economical impact that involve a teamwork, you have to have someone who can tell you what next in a proper way with respect to timeline, so that you don't lose time and things will come with respect to requirement of the market. So in that case, along with the tendency of hardworking, every scientist should be a little bit smart also. So we have to be hard worker, but at the same time, we have to be a little bit smart work approach. We have to adopt smart working approach too, by collaborating with somebody If we are thinking about business, then we should have someone from the business who understands it well. If we are having some ethical issues, then we should have someone who knows IP, HR. These things are very important. Without this team efforts, we cannot go longer. Like, we can do some work, maybe we may have a patent, nobody will come to us, nobody will think about the licensing, then it's all will be a kind of exercise. We not go far. If you are planning to go far, then you have to have appropriate expert in your team. And this is the key. Why this is important? You know, when we write a research paper, having very good, so self-claimed, very good hypothesis and very good write-up, nicely done experiments, good data, and we feel it like this is miracle, man, best work of my life. We submit this to journal and journal send it to review, and how reviewers look at this. So this is the way reviewer always look our work, because reviewers work starts where we finish. Then they dig inside and tell us, hey, non-scientific explanation, you are not clear. You did not compare your work with state of the art. What problem you're solving? They can say, I agree you're solving a problem, but this is not economical, or you have adverse environment health effect, or it's gonna damage the environment. So this is the way a reviewer looks our work. And this happens in more than 95% cases. And this is only about the research paper. But how someone can do research in the lab? First thing first, it's important to have a lab, and that lab belongs to a professor. I'm just talking about academic setups, and that professor has to have facilities. And how these facilities come? Only up to some extent, university can help having common characterization labs, but most of the time an advisor has to arrange everything by himself or herself. So they write proposals to the funding agency. So this is the way they write proposal, combo, project, everything seems like working, even you can sleep on the road like a moving home. And then what happened? This is the way reviewers say, hey, your idea is good, but you're lacking this, you're lacking scientific approach, your rationale is not clear, this thing, this way, this way. So this is the way they look at it. So what next? Don't get nervous. This happens with everybody. Probably this will happen sometime with Edison and Tesla, but they are not telling this. So in that situations, always try to understand the comments of reviewer, analyze them, and check how can you resolve them. So if you can resolve them, you can resolve them if you are optimist. Always think about better way. If reviewer reject your paper or your proposal, but at the same time, they give you expert opinion. If you are executing, if you are resolving, addressing their queries in your next submission, maybe you can publish that paper in much higher impact factor, as I did many times. Someone rejected my work, I solved the problem, and I did not submit over there. I withdraw it and submit to higher journal, it got accepted. Same thing applies in technology. If someone is telling you without any charge, a reviewer is a thankless job. We never get money. So reviewer is a reviewer as an expert, consuming his time thanklessly and telling you, hey, fix this component in your research. I should be thankful.
Dr. Kaushik, I am sorry.
How much time I have?
5 minutes, if you can.
Okay, then I will not go all the way. I'm going to wrap up. So it's all right. So this is the way we have to always think about a balance. It's very easy to see a balance in research, but actually it's tough. Can you see the right-hand side picture? This is the meaning of balance in research, but this is not tough, because though you, as a team, you're always on target, because the boss has eye on you, the boss is investing a lot of money on you, so he has expectations from you, because your success is the success of group, and that success can bring resources to the lab. And same thing applies on your team too. In a team, you may have a senior and you may have a junior. Okay, so you have to make a balance in your team too, and that will improve your soft skills here. Okay, because having doing all these experiments or these kind of approaches in your work style makes you an expert, and at the same time they tell you where do you stand, what are you lacking. If you work on this tiny component, you can improve your strategy. So first thing first, I would say it's always too good to conduct research, and your research should be of high quality, and no matter it's applied or fundamental, but this is always recommended to patent your research. So patent can be an idea, can be an invention, and can be an improved state of the art. If you have a very great idea, this can be patented straight away. Sometimes we have an invention that is really a good, significant work supported by a lot of data. That can be a patent. And sometimes we have a state-of-the-art technology. But if you're solving an existing problem, fixing some component, that approach is also patented. Okay, so patent is nothing. This is just a presentation of your work. This is a kind of writing. This is different from manuscript, but all the time you have to follow the same basics. So these are a couple of slides that I wanted to present, but I lost the track of time. But the key point is that here I would like to uh, uh, comment one thing. Make sure that your university has IP cell, because if they have an IP cell, that IP cell has appropriate expert. They will review your work. They will understand that what's the impact of your research and what are the future prospects. But this is, I know some people contacted me, their institution does not have an IP cell, but they want to file patent. So in that case, you have to inform your university and take this in written that my university does not have an IP cell, and I have no problem if this scientist or professor want to proceed for patent, and I approve that. So a patent can be regional, like Indian patent, can be US patent, or can be a world patent. Different patent has different kind of filing process, but writing a disclosure is the primary requirement of every patent. So same thing, always contact your IP cell first, and these are the 6 recommended points that you always have to consider in writing a disclosure. Description of technology, this is a paragraph where you have to mention that what is your technology and its impact. Then history, what are the related developments are involved at that time. And if you have any publication, then you have to mention that publication. At the same time, you have to mention that how many times you have presented that work. You have to provide the record of each and every step wherever you have discussed about this targeted technology. You have to mention prior research art, like if you are presenting a research, then you have to say what has been done, but this is not well covered before, and this is your focus. And one next point is sponsorship. Whenever you are writing a disclosure, always be careful to acknowledge the sponsors, whoever funded your research. It might be a departmental money or DST or government of India from foundation, everything you have to mention over there. And this number 6 is a very, very important part, that you have to mention the economic impact of your research and how this research can affect the market right now and with reference to future prospects also. This is also very important. So I think whatever I said in 6 points are in detail here. Sponsorship, yeah. So I can send this presentation to Updesh and he can share it with you guys. So this is something about my research. As I mentioned before, I am dealing with developing nanomedicine um, for the delivery of anti-HIV drug to the brain without affecting BBB. And we conducted systematic research and demonstrated this in mice and monkey. And this work is under patent. Another patent, we developed a hydrogel which is autofluorescent. We can use this for image guided therapy along with find out where the drug is and how, and at the same material can also release the drug. This is also got US patent. And this patent is relating to develop a system. Over there, we can measure the electrophysiology of HIV infected cell. This is very important. This technology can replace the use of RT-PCR and ELISA, which is very cheap, and we don't need big lab. This can be useful for uh, understanding that this therapy is working or not. And Zika virus was a serious problem, so I developed a prototype for Zika virus, and this chip was published in Nature Scientific Report and got US patent. And nowadays we are solving two problems in coronavirus. We are trying to identify, we are trying to make a sensor which can detect coronavirus protein selectively. And not only the detection of this protein, we would like to use artificial intelligence and Internet of Things so that we can have wireless system to detect coronavirus protein. And we would like to correlate its quantification with pathologically relevance parameters. And the next target is now one more minute. Now everyone is making vaccines or drugs for coronavirus. But what happened? How do we deliver this drug to cure patient? Because the virus is everywhere. This is in the bloodstream. At the same time, this is damaging lung, liver, and brain. So we have to have immunoprotective agents which will protect our immune system. So we have to have a delivery system that goes to different sites, stay over there, long-acting therapeutic agent, and can provide immunity to our system. So this is another directions. Here I have already filed a patent disclosure. Let's see what happened. And this is my team, my backbone. I'm every day thankful to them. Left side is my FIU family and right side my Polytech family, and a lot of people are involved in that, and I can't do anything without them. Then my wife, my daughter, and I every day think that how I can think outside the box. If I'm in my comfort zone, I can't do anything. So every day I think in a while, how can I think outside the box? And at the same time, I follow ethical and scientific honesty. This is highly recommended. I'm sorry for